Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of U.S. News by Billie, episode 48. Today's date, August 13, 2023. Some of the things we'll cover. The Maui fires, 1,000 missing and are dead. Mitch McConnell arrested? And no 2024 Say it isn't so. And real ID, we'll get into that. And 30 military coups to take place in the next month or so on a global basis. So let's get started. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, websites for Insider, Newsweek, Judy Byington, Beforeitsnews 107, Beforeitsnews Jim Willie. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, I have some Patriot subscribers. We're talking about their plants. In Central California, we've had trouble with plants, but our gardens are magnificent. And we are working with one piece of copper. It's called Electroculture. I'll do a drawing for you. With the tomatoes, I think it's helping. And plants are, another Patriot subscriber, plants are not growing in East Tennessee. I have a Patriot subscriber says, pray for Gonzalo Lira and hope the report is not true that he's been rearrested. He's a dual citizen from Chile and the U.S. who had been living in Ukraine. He has family there, children. And he was doing a YouTube show, and the Ukraine government arrested him and tortured him. He managed to get out and make it to the border of Ukraine and Hungary. And the reports are that he was rearrested. So we do need to be in prayer for him. And I have another Patriot subscriber. Last year, our plants did not grow. This is in Florida. And we brought them inside and used artificial light, and now they grow. So yeah, something is going on with the sun and the UV rays we're getting. I have a Patriot subscriber who says her lemon plants are 2.5 inches tall, but they're not growing. They don't die, but they don't grow. The Patriot subscriber is recommending Electroculture with a copper, a stick and wire, and I'll do a drawing on that. I have another Patriot subscriber is saying use copper on sticks, and yeah. And you can also use some diatomaceous earth mixed with Epsom salt or fish fertilizer. Yeah, I've heard that. Okay, I have a Patriot subscriber who says, please pray for me. I'm on disability and I can't afford holistic care, and I have a tumor on my liver and I'm due for emergency surgeries. Yeah, we lift you up. I did that immediately when I got that notice. I have a Patriot subscriber who's talking about, I live along the South Texas coast, about 50 miles south of Houston. Have you noticed that the National Guard Armory here has been full for quite some time, full of both troops and equipment? So yeah, that's going on. And this from Military News reported that the military had been activated in Maui to help with rescues and evacuations, and that the Coast Guard had rescued like 50 people who jumped into the ocean to get away from the fires. So yeah, that's going on. So let me do a drawing for the Electroculture for plants. I'm familiar with this, and it's logical that it would work. That's why I'm wearing copper. It's supposed to help with the electromagnetic shielding around your body. So I have some bracelets on. So it's helps, I think. All right, so for the plants, what you would do in a big garden, you could use it as a wooden stake, and you would put it 6 to 8 inches below into the ground, and you would have just regular copper wiring you can buy wound around it all the way up, and at the top then it's recommended that you extend it up like this, and it's designed to bring in more electromagnetic energy to your plants. In a big garden, you would plant one that would maybe be good for a 3 to a 5 foot radius, or in a small pot, you know, just put a small stick with the copper wiring on it. Yeah, I've seen the studies on it, and it's attested to by many sources. So yeah, that's something to do for your plants. Now we'll talk about Hawaii and what's going on there. So we're getting conflicting information. So here would be Alaska, Canada. Here's the U.S. Border, West Coast, Washington, Oregon. Okay, we have Hawaii out here in the Western Pacific. It's a string of islands. We have the big island, Hawaii, and the second island is Maui. That's where the fire is taking place. Now, so we can come down here. We have Mexico, Central America. So a few weeks ago, off of Africa, came the storm Dora, which was a minimal hurricane, but it managed to cross Central America, come up here, because they're talking, oh, the impact of Dora on the fires in Maui. Well, when the fires broke out, the hurricane was 500 miles away, and it was hurricane force, a category 4, but it only had hurricane winds like in 30-mile radius, and or 115 mile for tropical winds. But yeah, the wind from Dora, yeah, that whipped up all these fires. Now we're hearing other sources talk about other causes for the fires. Some believe it could be a product of geoengineering. Now, what I know about Hawaii. So we have a tectonic plate here. It was in the fall of 2020 that God said to me, pay attention to the edges of the tectonic plates, because the magma is heating up inside the earth, and you're really going to notice it along the edges of the tectonic plates. Now, Hawaii has what's called intraplate. So this would be the edge of the tectonic plate. And intraplate, there's no edge here, but it's called a hotspot. These have been known about for decades. Now, Mike from around the world is saying, and we know I've been putting out videos that document that the ocean temperatures are the hottest they've been in recorded human history. So that's going on, and we know we have this planet X or something out in space also impacting Earth. Now, what Mike from around the world said a few months ago was we would begin to see fires, because this impact and magma coming up is going to change chemicals, and many of them are going to spontaneously combust. Now, this is going on. What's going on in Maui is really, really bad. And Mike says it'll soon be here in the western U.S. Now I see we have a heat advisory for this part of the U.S. Beginning today and extending for the next few days. Plus, we know a hole in the Pacific Ocean where magma is coming up. We've been having in the last week, that was from Earthmaster and other sources, along the San Andreas Fault, we had multiple 4 earthquakes. So we see things are up. Now, an update for what's going on in Maui. And many of their government people have come out, and also, I believe that was Homeland Security, and so, the guy who was the head of the emergency management for Maui also said, we don't know why the sirens didn't operate to warn people. But a few people did get text messages on their phones. Now, on Tuesday, like about August 8th, there was something that happened spontaneously on Maui, especially in an area called Lahaina. And since Tuesday, it's also spread to the Big Island of Hawaii on the north edge of Hawaii here. And we know that the death toll is confirmed as 93, but it's believed that hundreds are dead and at least 1,000 are missing. Now, for me, trying to envision what happened on this island, okay, what I'm getting, the picture I'm getting in my mind is something catastrophic, almost biblical, happened on this island, and a majority of the island, especially this Lahaina area, spontaneously combusted. Now, we have some sources that are talking about geoengineering. Okay, I submit, and it's my belief, that it could be a combination of both, natural with the magma rising underneath the island through the ocean, and also impacts from space, changing chemicals, and the deep state could have augmented this with geoengineering. Something catastrophic happened. People had no warning. Even the local law enforcement was telling people to jump in the ocean. There was nowhere to go to get away from the fire. The Coast Guard rescued at least 50 people. That was a few days ago. So this is going on, and the fires are still going on, and they're still trying to say the Hurricane Dora had an impact on it. I just don't see that. I think there are other factors, but nevertheless, this is going on, and absolutely, these people need our prayers. Y'all, they're saying the high winds augmented by Dora that was 500 miles away, combined with the dry weather, spontaneously combusted this significant tropical island. Okay, something happened, and people are dying, a lot of people, and many of the people have lost everything they had. I mean, everything just went on fire, and they tried to jump in the ocean to get away from it. So yeah, that's going on. So we have that. Now, we'll move into some new information. This is from Jim Willie. Let me see this. Yeah. About Mitch McConnell. What happened? All right, Mitch McConnell. I'll paint this picture for you. Mitch McConnell, he is a Republican, from Kentucky. He's also the Senate Minority Leader. He's 81 years old, and he's been in this politics most of his life. He's a professional politician whose wealth has grown into millions of dollars. Now, his second wife in 1993 from Taiwan is a very beautiful woman. I noticed that years ago. I thought, what does this really beautiful, intelligent woman see in Mitch McConnell? Much older and kind of a lackluster kind of, not a charismatic personality. Oh, well. So Mitch helped her, and she became the transportation director. And her dad has a shipping company, Foremost Group, in New York. Yeah, it was a beneficial relationship. Well, just a few days ago, Mitch McConnell was in a interview, and he did like a freeze for about 30 seconds. People were believing he had a stroke, but Jim Willie, PhD economist from Costa Rica, believes that he was surrounded by one woman and two men who, it was understood by Jim, were police officers, and Mitch McConnell may have had a taser applied to him during his public arrest. So we would have to believe that would be a product of the Whiteheads. Yeah, let's publicly arrest Mitch, who has been aligned with the CCP for quite a while. I understand one of the sisters of his wife is married to a CCP high government official. So that was put out several years ago. So that's going on. Now we have this, the Brunson case. We have this from multiple sources, Jim Willie, Judy Byington. This had to do with a Patriot Citizens lawsuit against Congress for their not complying with the Constitution of the U.S. after the E of 2020, and this would have been like in January of 2021. There was plenty of evidence that something irregular had happened during the course of the E. You know, many people are believing now, it just has to do with money to pay the counters. Well, we have 435 in the House, and we have 100 in the Senate. And out of this would be a group of 535. 100 wanted to observe the Constitution and take at least another 10 days to investigate these claims. But the deep state apparently had paid off enough people that didn't happen. And they said JB, the actor puppet avatar for the deep state, had won the E. Now, the Brunson case, we understand we don't have a functioning Supreme Court. Maybe 1 out of 9 of the judges is still working, but the military, the U.S. military, 70% of it that recognizes President Trump as still being commander-in-chief, are going to have a decision on this. And Jim Willie's information is that it had been decided in the favor of President Trump. It has not been made public, but it will in September or October. And that means when that happens, then JB and the Congress, most of the Congress, the cabinet, will be out. So we could see EBS soon, and we know possibly a period of up to 10 days of us being under martial law while the government is reconstituted by the White Hats. So, yeah, that's going on. And also, Jim Willie's information is the court will also have information from the Space Force brought in. I'm familiar with the Space Force's information from all the data I did in 2021. Yeah, the investigations. So that's going on. Now we have this. So we have 107. You know, he's affiliated with the White Hats. Some believe he's JFK Jr. So we'll see. Is saying that there's not going to be an E in 2024. And that President Trump is still president, still commander-in-chief, because there was an act of war that occurred against the United States regarding the E of 2020 with foreign intervention going on. And that there will be no E in 2024, and that the current government will be dissolved. President Trump and the U.S. military will institute, you know, a new form of government. We will have new elections that will not occur until after May of 2025, which has to do with the real ID. Now, this was put in place after 9/11, and all of the states complied by 2021. And what this means is your driver's license has to be a certain format, have like a gold star or other symbols on it that indicates it meets the real ID requirements. Like you have to show documents, and I don't recall having to show any special documents, but for me, there would have been, you know, decades of records held by the Texas Department of Transportation. And when I initially obtained my driver's license, I think I did have to show my birth certificate. Yes, I think so. So at any rate, one reason, no E in 2024, a new government will be constituted by President Trump and the U.S. military after May of 2025, when real ID has been required by the states, and then in May of 2021, it's going to be implemented so that you cannot get on a commercial plane nor enter a U.S. power plant nor certain federal offices unless you have and military bases, unless you have an official real ID, and it will be required to board commercial planes inside the U.S. May 7, 2025. Now, if you have a driver's license, all the states are complied, so you're covered. Now, what about people who are not U.S. citizens? So everyone 18 years older to get on a commercial plane after this date has to show a real ID. And if you are not a U.S. citizen, U.S. citizens also may use a state driver's license or a U.S. passport. If you're not a U.S. citizen, You have to have a foreign passport or a permanent resident card or a border crossing card. Canada driver's license are also accepted. So I'm assuming the thinking is a lot of people in this nation will be eventually located and deported. So that would be one reason the elections would be stalled until after the spring of 2025. Yeah. So that's going on. All right, now we have some information from Judy Byington. Okay, she's also confirming her information is about the Brunson case coming soon. Emergency broadcast system may come on soon. Yeah, for a short period of time we will have martial law. Yeah, that's going on. Now we have this. So Judy Byington is bringing this out. The U.S. military is spread out across the globe. In my world update, I'll also detail many nations where we have U.S. military, because this would correlate with 30 military coups to take place in 30 different nations. And we have U.S. has deployed ships, 180 to 350 ships, including aircraft carriers, cruiser ships, nuclear subs, warships, and battleships. So these have been deployed. Now, I'll be curious, and I'll do my checking with the other information I have for thousands of U.S. troops we have deployed in different nations. I'm wondering if we can expect military coups in Israel, France, the Netherlands, and possibly Canada. So that's going on. Yeah. So we're looking forward to positive changes coming up right on the horizon that correlates to the WebBot data that Cliff High had September and October. Great things happening. Also to the prophetic information from Pastor Tim Sheets, September and October, harvest time for spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ and bringing in 1 billion souls. Absolutely. So here's a short prayer. It's based on America the Beautiful song, lyrics by Bates and Ward. America. May our skies remain forever clear and blue. May amber waves of grain ever fill our plains. May pilgrim feet ever seek our shores who are aligned with God, to walk in a land of freedom by constitution, in a land of liberty by law, in a land of grace by blessing from God. And we say, God bless America, beautiful place of patriot dreams and of brotherhood from sea to shining sea. And we say thank you, God the Father, God the Son, Jesus, whom many call Yeshua, and God the Holy Spirit. I say to my family and friends, remain steady out there. Continue to pray. A great time to prep, I believe. And it's good to remember God is in charge and He is on the move. I love you, and I'll see you soon.